which, we were talking about all this talk about oxygen got me to look at my power outage backup solution Readiness. And so I checked my air pumps that come on automatically. And all I had set up on the display was one Penplex with the batteries that senses when the power goes out and comes on, and the batteries were dead. The other one was disconnected. And I have 5 of the Cobalt USB powered pumps that do the same thing as the Penplex in boxes. Here's 3 of them here. So I set 2 of them up just to get them going on the display tank. And I ordered a bigger pump because I really want more water, more air moving. And
I think like Azu, you know that company Azu?
Yeah,
they make a big old honking unit.
Yeah, this is a different one. I think this is a JBJ unit. We'll see if it's any good. Where I want to put it, that big unit is a little tough.
Yeah.
I want to put it up above the tank.
Oh, okay.
But I want as much water as I can. So this other unit's bigger. And then 4 of these, one of these will go on to each of these 4 tanks. And then I'll be set. It's funny because this is clearly a project I started a long time ago and just forgot about.
Yeah, I mean, there's even something dead sitting on top of it.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, did I take the other line out? Because it's just air to a rigid airline tubing, right? Because there's not that much dissolution through bubbles. Oxygen doesn't dissolve out of bubbles, really. The gas exchange happens at the surface when the surface tension is broken, not just agitated. You have to break the surface tension, right?
Let's repeat that for the people in the back, because I don't think a lot of people, I come across people that don't know that. You think that the air pump putting the air bubbles and that going in there, that's kind of what throws oxygen in there. It's not that. It's when the bubble breaks the surface and the expanding the surface area top that facilitates the gas exchange. That's really where the $1 million thing's going on.
So I want big ass bubbles coming up in my tank, roiling the surface area. And I think an air stone doesn't do that as well.
No.
Also, you get that salt creep, which is higher. And also air stones will clog if you leave them in the tank.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of reasons not to use air stone.
And you couldn't do the lime wood. It would just rot before it
just
ever
rot.
turned on. Yeah.
So yeah. So I thought I had taken that out, and I realized I just had taken the pump off of it. So I was like, oh, the line is still there. So I just hooked up the new one. But I'm going to redo the whole thing. We'll talk about it more when that happens.
Yeah, last winter during our big freeze, I was bummed out to find that one of my kind of most important clients out there, that he had the Ecotech battery backups on Vortex. He has 2 of them, and those things didn't even turn on.
Ooh.
I was like, and I remember seeing, I don't go on forums, but I remember seeing that there had been some issues with the older models of the battery backups. After a certain amount of time, I didn't look into it, but they had some issues with it. But I was like, damn, I've had that on there as a backup this whole time, and it did not.
You got to test your backups.
Yeah.
You got to test them regularly to see what they're doing. I used a Ecotech with the battery for a long time. I had it on the back of the tank up near the surface because, again, my training is you have to break the surface tension. But it was just the wrong place for the wrong piece of kit.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking it off and went to these bubbles when I realized I'm just not going to have power outages often enough to warrant having a pump solution.
Hey, that's worth repeating too, that Richard doesn't put air stones or any, it's just an open rigid airline tubing for these emergency air pumps. So if you have that sort of situation, you should consider, don't worry about little air stones or anything like that. Just leave it open because you want that crazy agitation at the top.
The other thing that I would do if I didn't have, 4 of these the Fluval FS6, Fluval C6s, that's my return pump. That would be the thing I would want to have on a UPS. I would want, if I had my druthers about one thing besides heaters to keep on in a power outage, it would be the return pump.
Yeah.
Because then you're getting all the oxygen, you're getting some flow, you're getting a ton of gas exchange still. That's what I would want to do. So when we go solar, if we ever go solar and we have those batteries, I will, there will be a couple things on the tank that will stay on, and that will be one of them, even at 60 watts. At that point, if we ever have a big battery outside, or if all these pumps die and I end up going to some crazy low wattage Outage return pump at some point.
Yeah. A
Outage, which I have somewhere, but I haven't hooked it up. Because why would I? I've got 4 of these other pumps new in box, and they won't die. They never die.
You have pumps for decades.
Like 6 years old, and
if you think about it, 60 watts. I mean, and there's more efficient stuff nowadays, but that's just like an old school light bulb. I mean,
or are they 90 watts? Oh, I want to find out. I'm going to look it up because that's
you might
totally
need to know that.
That's
totally, don't make a backup plan without testing it on a regular basis. Otherwise, it's not much of a backup plan.
Oh, it's 135 watts.
Whoa, that's a big difference there, Cochise.
So, yeah. What are the watts of? Well, I'm going to look it up. We're sitting here.
Of a Nabiz or a Outage? What is the one that I got for you? There's ADV or SDC, and the ADV is the
per hour.
But that one's DC, so it's kind of variable wattage.
Right, that's what you want.
Yeah. And I don't know. Would that CJ interface with the Apex to where you could?
The one I got does.
Change the Apex could control the speed, the RPMs, the wattage draw.
Yes. So when if it reads a power outage somewhere, it could go down to 50% or something like that. I've never
in
set
that situation up. I kind of feel like I'd also tell the skimmer to shut off because
absolutely
it's going to cause issues with the skimmer level.
Well, it depends on how you're running it.
Oh, that's true, because the way yours is set up, it's kind of divorces
skimmer
from that.
It won't make a difference. Which pump is that? The ADV? Is that it?
It's the
SDC.
Okay, you're right. The ADV is the cheaper one. It is still DC, but it doesn't come with a controller, where the SDC is the one that comes.
I don't think it's big. It doesn't match.
Oh, by the way, look at my beverage receptacle. Reef Beef.
Oh, that's cool.
Why don't people go to reefbeefpodcast.com and check out our swag stuff? And by the way, let me ask you people, you love the show and everything, and you comment, share it to like a reefing forum you're part of, or, share it to a friend that is into this. Share it around, paste it right on there, and give us some exposure. We would greatly appreciate that.
We would. So the Outage is 90 watts. It does about 300 gallons an hour less. Big deal. But it's 90 watts is 135 watts. They might as well be the same thing for that. So yeah, I'm not changing anything. God, if you are running a DC return pump, I'm looking for something that runs about 3,000 gallons an hour, 13,000 liters, about 3,000 gallons, that pulls the lowest watts. So what's the lowest wattage pulling pump that you know of that runs about 3,000 GPH?
I mean, honestly, isn't that going to be in a biz?
What the hell do I know? You want me to Google that? You want me to look that up?
You already wasted our viewers' time Googling the other thing. It's got to be in a biz.
I'll look it up. Okay? I'm looking it up right now.
Watch this.
Which, like what, the A200?
Yeah, but I mean, you got to match it to that liters per hour, or gallons per hour that you were just requiring.
3,800 gallons, 22. So it would be this one, the 200. Okay, so that's only $2,400 as opposed to $300. So
that's the rub.
There is that 4 to 200. So it's about this,
Oh, okay. 4 to 200. 200 franked. Yeah.
So eventually they'll be down, or there'll be a better UPS solution for me that would run a 135 watt pump for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And if anybody is smarter than us about backup batteries like that. If you know of such a battery that's not $2,000 that's going to run my backup pump, my return pump for 24 hours at 135 watts, let me know because I'll buy it.
I mean, holy cow. Would you think that you would experience an outage for that long?
No, but what's the point of buying something if you're not prepared for at least a day?
That's true.
That's what I think.
Please don't ever come across a situation where you're out of power for 24 hours.
Yeah. In fact, I'd like to run 200 watts because then I would have the return to this system going as well. One day that will all happen, and then we don't have to do water changes ever.